Last week was the busiest week for technology IPOs we've seen in a long time, but there was one debut you might have missed, so let's talk about it. Now, Reddit's IPO was a success. The company priced at the top end of its proposed range and then stormed out of the gate once it began to trade. Then there was Astera Labs' own tech IPO, which was even more impressive, pricing above its range and then also shooting higher once it began to trade. Then there was the other third public debut, a blank check combination between a SPAC and the Trump Media and Technology Group. Yes, the company behind Truth Social is finally public. So what is Trump Media? Well, it's a social media company, sure, but it's also, in its own words, built to, quote, create a media powerhouse to rival the liberal media consortium and fight back against the big tech companies of Silicon Valley. Anyways, Trump Media as a company doesn't look like a super great business, at least according to SEC filings. For example, Axios reported last year that in the first 9 months of 2023, the company generated revenues of $3.38 million and led to a net loss of around $49 million. Now, sure, tech companies that go public often lose money, but that's because they're growing very quickly. In this case, the revenue and loss just seem to be a little bit off kilter. And given what the company is worth today on the public markets, it also has a pretty aggressive revenue multiple, though of course we'll need to wait for full Q4 numbers to come out to be entirely sure. Now, CNBC does report that 11% of the shares in the newly public Trump Media are being sold short, indicating that not everyone expects the company to perform well as a public entity. That said, it has done better thus far than many other SPAC combinations, so I guess 1 point for that. Now, weird SPAC combos aside, last week's more material tech IPOs were really big deals. And they did so well, they could help unlock even more IPOs from tech startups in coming quarters. One way to think about this is that after last year's Instacart, Arm, and Klaviyo deals, the narrative was they didn't do well enough to actually engender more offerings. Well, we have a pretty different situation this time, right? Put another way, if we're seeing the Trump Media SPAC deal get done and both Reddit and Astera's IPOs go boom in the same week, surely the IPO waters are warm enough for the average unicorn, right? Right?